If you're wondering, did that really happen? The answer is yes. I love Doritos. I could eat Doritos anywhere and anytime. In fact, do you recall your first experience with your favorite food? Well, I do. I can distinctly remember the moment that I fell in love with the magical taste of Doritos. I was 10 years old, and my grandfather had just given my sister and I a whole $1 bill each. Now, $1 might not stretch that far these days, but 25 years ago at my corner store, $1 literally meant 10 Gobstoppers, 8 Laffy Taffies, 6 bubblegum wraps, at least 3 lollipops, and 1 iced popsicle. That's right, all of that candy for only $1. And on one particular occasion, I was able to convince my sister to let's try this new Dorito experience. Needless to say, hours later, as we sat laughing and giggling and slurping the orange cheesy goodness of each finger, we knew that no other experience would compare to that moment. When I eat a Dorito, I engage in a spectacular, dynamic, sensational culinary experience. The kind of experience that was meticulously and thoughtfully created by the innovators of Frito-Lay to, of course, gratify its consumers and then hook us into coming back again and again for this live boldly experience. In fact, in the US, the experience of eating a Dorito is branded as a shockwave because as you eat one, you feel that instant jolt of bold seasoning rush through your whole body. In Mexico, the experience of enjoying a Dorito is likened to the question, ¿Dónde es la fiesta? Or where's the party at? Because there's a rich celebration between the crack and the crunch of the chip, the fusion of spice and zesty goodness, again, under each fingernail. And of course, that oh-so-enduring bold breath smell that you and I recall for long periods of time after we've eaten the Dorito. It's no surprise then that the Dorito was the top selling tostado or tortilla chip of 2016. In contrast to this satisfying and exhilarating experience that I connect with the Dorito, many of our students with disabilities, or if we use terminology that focuses on ability, we may say our students with exceptionalities, our students with varied abilities, or our students that receive special education services. These students don't always enjoy the experience of school that we've designed. You see, the experience of school that we've designed can sometimes be less than inclusive and engaging for many of our learners. And so even though the rates of graduation as of late have increased tremendously for our students with exceptionalities, when we look at our suspension rates, our attendance rates, and even our high school dropout rates, they're still unacceptably high. And whether we agree on the full merit of a high school diploma or not, we can agree that having one is a lot better than not. Despite the favorable research on inclusion and best practices from successful inclusive school communities, many of our students with exceptionalities are often excluded from rigorous general education curriculum with their peers, are segregated or confined in separate wings of a school community, or receive filtered down expectations, which of course pushes our students further and farther behind on being ready for 21st century success. Inclusive practices are based on this mindset that all of our learners have something meaningful to contribute to our school community, and thus we provide the same rich learning opportunities so that our students all learn and grow. The reality is, many of our students with exceptionalities are sitting outside of the game, in the stands, waiting for their opportunity to bring grand value to our game. But suppose we used courage to disrupt that status quo of standards drilling and multiple choice killing and reinvented and had an evolution of thinking on what the school experience should look, sound, and feel like for our learners. Having and teaching high standards is beneficial. But thinking that we have to reach the standards with a prepackaged methodology or that our students have to reach those standards with uniformity can sometimes be perilous and is what in many cases creates that torturous experience that many of our learners run from. We have lessons to learn about being courageous and trying something radically new and different from innovative fast food companies like Taco Bell. In 2012, Taco Bell took that noteworthy experience of My Dorito and rebranded or redesigned that boring taco to create this masterpiece of an experience known as the Doritos Locos Taco, aka the DLT. During the first year of production, the DLT sold more than 1 billion units, making it the most successful fast food innovation of all time. In fact, one Taco Bell addict even drove 900 miles from Toledo, Ohio, from New York to Toledo, Ohio, just for an early taste of the DLT. It is estimated that the average customer comes back every 11 days for their next Tex-Mex experience. No, our students are not a chip or a product. They are so much more important. But we have lessons to learn about designing an experience, a meaningful experience, an experience that is rich and includes and engages all of our learners. You know, the kind of experience that you're excited to go to. You crave it, almost like school addicts. Could you imagine creating a school addict? A student so excited for an early taste of that Pythagorean theorem that they rush to school in the morning? Now, Taco Bell's success was not an overnight victory by any means. In fact, many of the first tasters absolutely hated the product. They complained about the taste and the texture, saying that it wasn't zesty enough like the Dorito or crispy and crunchy enough like that Taco Bell taco. They also wanted to get tons of cheese dust on each and every finger because, of course, that's part of our Dorito experience, right? We crave that. But that cheese was an engineering challenge. Many times it was so cumbersome to contain that they had to shut down the factory because it posed possible breathing hazards. In addition to the cheese dust fiasco, Taco Bell also had the challenge of ensuring that though it was crunchy like a chip, it was still bendable in a way that it wouldn't break during mass production and then bulk shipment around the world. Despite all of these obstacles, Taco Bell was able to design an experience that gratified its consumers. As educators, we know all too much about obstacles and challenges. But it's that design experience, the experience of creating that opportunity that all students want to be a part of. So the first thing Taco Bell did in designing this new experience of the DLT was they identified their target and focus audience. Every generation of consumers has different expectations and different preferences. And as such, you usually undergo informed market research and you do diligent product innovation. You make sure that you're keeping afloat of your customers' preferences so that you can, of course, customize and adapt your product offerings to then ensure that the brand stays relevant. Currently, we have some work to do in education, ensuring that our brand of education is relevant and inclusive for our target audience of Generation Z, aka the I generation. Today, Relevant is constantly being updated, upgraded, and refined. As such, our Generation Zers, as we call them, are much better multitaskers. They're able to process information much faster than generations prior, thanks to our high-tech communication and, of course, our prolific use of social media resources like Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter. And it's no surprise, but many members of our Generation Z want to become entrepreneurs. So that's right. You get to own a business, you get to own a business, and you get to own a business. Our future clientele of entrepreneurs no longer use excuses like, my dog ate my homework, or I've lost my homework somewhere in my room. Instead, we hear excuses like, I've lost my homework somewhere on the cloud. And I follow the author on Twitter, so let me get back to you when I get some textual evidence that I can cite for this essay. Right? These are those type of Generation Zers that we are privileged to work with. With so many advances in technology, it's absolutely essential that we have a growth mindset so that we use technology in our teaching and learning process to engage and create this enriching experience. So perhaps, instead of requiring every student to write that 5-paragraph essay for every ELA standard, or solve 15 math problems for every math competency, let's provide our target audience with authentic, relevant product opportunities. That's right, authentic, relevant product opportunities. Our world that we face is changing. We have diverse issues and complex problems that we've never experienced before. So we can't use 20th century teaching methods to inspire 21st century learners. Our goal in education is to create change makers and critical thinkers that add value to our world. And so let's courageously throw out that traditional row-like classroom environment with the 30 minutes of direct instruction and the one-size-fits-all products, and flip the classroom so that our learners become the dispensers of knowledge, and they get to create their own learning experiences. As 21st century digital leaders, we do well to ask, not just is there an app for that, but is there an ARP for that standard, an authentic, relevant product opportunity? In addition, as we start to create this learning experience that invites and engages our learners, we should also think about how we infuse our students' interest and offer options for choice. For example, my student, MP, who I absolutely loved, he hated school. He felt it was boring, but he could tell you everything you wanted to know about every automobile. He could tell you the make, the miles per gallon, everything under the hood. But again, he felt that there was no relevance. He felt that, how does this connect to the real world? How do I make meaning of this information? And so what we decided to do as a 12th grade team is we used this ARP approach to help him meet the standards. So in government, there was an assignment where students needed to create a political party that would add value and contribute meaningfully to society. MP chose to create the political party known as the Energy Efficient Fuel Party. And this was 10 years ago, by the way, so very amazing work. And he excitedly researched all of the hybrid and fuel-saving cars and then presented it using a visual medium, like an infographic. As a result of using this ARP approach with MP, not only did his grades increase, did he start to actually enjoy school and see relevance, but he later enrolled in an automotive tech school. He later said, "Ms. Flakes, at first, I wasn't interested in school. Me and school, we didn't get along. But now, I see it as a catalyst for self-empowerment and community change." And this is just one of many stories that collectively as educators we share. The next thing Taco Bell did in designing this experience is they capitalized on the expertise of their entire team. So that included food scientists, their Taco Bell workers, their Taco Bell customers, even their business marketers. Successful inclusive school communities are characterized by a strong commitment to collaboration, the willingness to take chances, be vulnerable, trust one another. The good news is, in education, we are a collective power of unity. We have each other. As we design this experience that engages all of our learners, we have power in our masses. The creation of designing this remarkable experience of the DLT took over 40 design recipes. Shouldn't we go through an even more robust process when we design our learning experiences to include and engage all of our learners? We know that the most dangerous phrase in our profession is, "That's how it's always been done." And so whether you enjoy the remarkable experience of my Dorito or another food product, I ask you to hold on to that remarkable experience and use it as we continue our conversations of change in creating schools that work for each and every one of our learners. Together, we can create a mouth-watering, deliciously relevant learning experience that includes and engages and inspires each and every one of our students. Thank you.